What you're about to see in this DOJ hearing is a perfect example of how congressional procedures can be misunderstood and sometimes deliberately twisted, and how those misunderstandings can be weaponized in real time. What Jasmine Crockett was doing is something members of Congress do every single day. And
spending. Thank you, Chair Lady.
Madam Chair, I have a unanimous consent.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. This is just from a couple of hours ago. Trump pivots to distractions as polls show collapsing support for his agenda.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one is Donald Trump's approval rating plunges in multiple polls.
Without objection, so
The next
ordered.
one, Donald Trump's approval rating, new polls show shakeup over Iran bombing.
Without objection, so ordered.
The next one, Trump's approval rating drops to term low amid Israel-Iran war.
Without objection, so ordered. I hope you're not reading the same thing from your phone, which it looked like. I now recognize.
clarification-
I now recognize Mr. Lynch from Massachusetts for 5 minutes.
I just want to clarify, I can give you the sources because
Mr. Lynch is recognized. Ms. Crockett, you're rudely interrupting Mr. Lynch's 5 minutes.
Well,
I've already said without objection, so ordered.
Okay, then there we go. And we'll make sure
Mr.
you got it.
Lynch is recognized, Ms. Crockett, for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
entering publicly available reporting into the record through unanimous consent. It is one of the most ordinary, uncontroversial procedures in hearings. When Crockett read headlines showing collapsing support for Donald Trump, she wasn't giving a speech or hijacking the clock. She was simply listing the titles of news articles, which is allowed. The chair repeatedly affirmed it by saying, without objection, so ordered. But the moment those headlines became politically inconvenient, Marjorie Taylor Greene snapped. Greene's accusation that Crockett was rudely interrupting makes sense only if you ignore the fact that Crockett fractions had already been approved by the chair. Greene's objection wasn't rooted in procedure, it was rooted in discomfort with what Crockett was entering into the record, a round of credible reports showing Trump's approval rating dropping sharply, including among Republicans, amid foreign policy crises and domestic discontent. Rather than address the substance, the polls themselves, Greene went after the process. This is a common pattern in polarized hearings. When the facts are difficult to rebut, opponents shift the conversation to tone, decorum, or personality. It becomes less about the information and more about who is allowed to speak it. Crockett, for her part, remained steady. She paused when the chair intervened, clarified her sources, and resumed only when recognized. Her calmness contrasted sharply with Greene's reflexive defensiveness. And that contrast matters because viewers often take their cues not just from what is said, but from how members respond under pressure. This clip also highlights something many Americans may not realize. Congressional hearings are not free-for-all debates. They operate under precise rules. Members have designated time. The chair controls order. And unanimous consent is a tool meant to keep hearings efficient by avoiding unnecessary pauses of votes. When Greene accused Crockett of interrupting, she wasn't correcting a rule violation. She was attempting to redefine the rules in the moment to shut down content she didn't want the public to hear. And that gets to the heart of what this moment teaches us. Political conflict isn't just about ideology, it's about narrative control. When a member tries to enter facts that challenge a preferred narrative, the reaction can be swift and aggressive. Understanding moments like this helps viewers see beyond the surface drama. It shows where members try to shape perception, how they use procedural language to mask political motives, and why these small moments matter for the broader story of transparency and accountability in government. If you value commentary that explains not just what happened, but why it happened and what it means for our democracy, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. The more we understand the process, the harder it becomes for anyone to manipulate it in plain sight.